The 1968 Philippine 10 Sentimo coin belongs to the second series of the Republic of the Philippines coinage, issued after the country gained independence from the United States in 1946. This series was introduced in 1967 and remained in circulation until the mid-1970s, just before the coinage underwent design changes under the Marcos administration. The 10 Sentimo denomination was meant for small value transactions, equivalent to 1/10 of a Philippine peso. In the late 1960s, the 10 Sentimo could still buy a small candy, a stick of gum, or help in exact fare payments for jeepneys and buses. It was part of everyday commerce, especially in provincial markets. The choice of cupronickel made the coin durable against corrosion while giving it a silvery appearance that contrasted with the lower brass denominations. In 1968, the Philippines was under the presidency of Ferdinand Marcos, who had taken office in 1965. This period was marked by infrastructure development, economic growth in some sectors, and early signs of political tension that would later lead to the declaration of martial law in 1972. The 10 Sentimo coin was minted as part of the government's modernization of currency, with designs that honored national heroes. Francisco Balagtas was chosen for his cultural importance, symbolizing Filipino literature and national pride. During this time, inflation was mild compared to later decades, and coins like the 10 Sentimo still held practical purchasing power. However, by the late 1970s, rising prices reduced its everyday use, leading to its gradual withdrawal from circulation. For collectors, the 196810 Sentimo is part of a historic series and is valued more for its age and historical relevance than for its face value. Circulated condition, often just a few pesos. Uncirculated, mint condition, can be worth more to collectors, especially if the coin has sharp details and original luster. Some coins may have higher value if they are in proof-like condition, or have minting errors such as off-center strikes or die cracks. The 1968 10 Sentimo is a reminder of an era when small coins played an important role in the Philippine economy. It is also a tangible tribute to Francisco Balagtas, keeping his legacy alive in the pockets of millions of Filipinos during the late 1960s and 1970s. Today, it serves as both a historical artifact and a collectible item that tells a story of the nation's currency evolution. The 196810 Sentimo belongs to the second series of Philippine coinage, introduced in 1967. This series was created after the Philippine government decided to modernize coin designs, replacing the post-war first series issued from 1958-1966. The aim was to highlight Filipino national heroes instead of generic images or colonial-inspired designs. Francisco Balagtas, more famously known as Francisco Balagtas, 1788-1862, was the chosen figure for the 10 Sentimo. He is considered the prince of Tagalog poets, and his most famous work, Florante at Laura, became a symbol of Filipino literary excellence. Including him on the coin was a cultural statement, a reminder of the Philippines' literary roots and intellectual heritage. When the 10 Sentimo was minted in 1968, President Ferdinand Marcos was in his first term. The country was undergoing rapid infrastructure growth. Roads, bridges, and public buildings were being constructed. However, beneath this image of progress, political rivalries were growing, and events such as the Jabata Massacre March 1968 stirred controversy. Back in 1968, the Philippine peso had far more purchasing power than today. The 10 Sentimo could buy 2 pieces of candy or bread rolls, add to jeepney fare. Minimum fare was only a few centavos. Pay for small items in sari-sari stores. Children often collected these coins, not for numismatics, but to trade for snacks at school. The coin was made from cupronickel, a copper-nickel alloy, to give it durability and a silver-like sheen. This was important because the Philippines' tropical climate is humid and corrosive to metals. The minting process aimed to produce millions of identical coins for everyday use. The engraving style was crisp but simple, making the denomination easy to identify even for people with poor eyesight. The Philippines had been independent for over 20 years by 1968. Its coinage still followed many U.S. minting techniques due to historical ties. The Manila Mint, which had been a branch of the U.S. Mint before World War II, influenced the production style of these coins, ensuring they were mechanically struck with precise details. The 1968 10 Sentimo circulated heavily until the late 1970s. By the early 1980s, inflation drastically reduced its buying power. By then, it became common to see these coins lying unused in drawers and piggy banks. Eventually, they were demonetized as newer coin series replaced them. Circulated coins, often found with scratches and wear, valued at only a few pesos. Uncirculated coins can be worth significantly more to collectors, especially if well preserved. Error coins, off-center strikes, misaligned dies, or double-struck coins can command high premiums among error coin collectors. The coin is a tiny time capsule of the late 1960s Philippines, a period of optimism mixed with growing political unrest. It represents, for historians and collectors, it's more than a piece of metal, it's a small but powerful story.